All right, folks, we got a breaking news emergency video for you. And yes, this is real. Yes, this is official. Unfortunately, Joe Biden just dropped out of the 2024 presidential race after saying several times that he would not. But we did hear some rumors that maybe on Sunday an announcement would come. And it turns out it is indeed real, because going on Joe Biden's Twitter right now, you see this statement. We will read it and then we'll talk about it. OK, so it says Joe Biden from July 21st, 2024, he puts out this statement saying, "My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding, blah, 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 blah," right? But he says, "I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world." So first of all, Joe, if all of this is true, let me ask the question, and then why are you dropping out, right? And this is the question I have for all of these Biden shills on Twitter. Okay, so he's such an amazing president, right? He's doing the best job since FDR. Then why is he leaving the race? Why is he leaving the race? And you say, we've protected and preserved our democracy. Yes, this is very democratic, by the way. You never held a Democratic primary, but at the last minute, you're just going to send all the delegates and do a coup. You allowed the coup against democracy to succeed, right? All the talk the past couple of years about insurrection and blah, blah, blah. You just allowed an insurrection to succeed against you, the sitting president. So, just kind of ironic and hilarious in my opinion. But he says, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision." So a couple things to point out. First of all, Joe Biden does not endorse Kamala Harris. By the way, folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, but does not endorse Kamala, right? And so you did hear a little bit of that rumor, which is that Biden will not directly get behind her. Now, that said, I still believe that you got to consider this. The DNC is in a month, and the Biden delegates are going to be the ones going to vote on a candidate. So I would say still most likely, even without the direct endorsement, Kamala is the front runner to get that Democrat nomination, but ultimately, who knows, right? I think realistically, if anyone's going to be able to usurp her in terms of authority, in terms of clout in the Democrat Party, it would be Michelle Obama. So let's see if Michelle tips her hat in the race. So that's going to be something to watch. And let me know in the comment section down below who you think the new Democrat candidate is going to be. But on a bigger picture, let me also say, okay, I mean, we've always known these people are liars, and we know the truth, but it's objectively not a good look to say for the longest time since the debate, since the assassination attempt on Trump, I'm staying in the race, right? All of the Biden aides, Biden himself says, I'm 100% staying in the race. These rumors are false. And then the very next day, all of a sudden, oh, I'm out of the race, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay, so, maybe I'm coping to some degree. Like, obviously, I wanted to run against Biden because he was the weakest candidate, but clearly he sees that he was doing such a bad job. I think a new poll today in Michigan, or one of those swing states, now has him down 7. I mean, the writing was on the wall. We really did think, though, I really was of the personal opinion that the Bidens, Jill Biden, etc., were so selfish. They were going to stand in the way and try to cling on to power no matter what. But who knows exactly what they did. Okay, who knows exactly the discussions that went on behind the closed doors, but ultimately, yes, the coup against Joe Biden has succeeded. And now here's the position we're in the election, which is objectively, yes. This is why I've been saying if you're a Trump supporter, you should not be getting complacent, because the election just got harder. Whoever the candidate is, even if it's Kamala, well, actually, if it's Kamala, maybe it's the same. But assuming they put a totally new candidate up there, yeah, the election just got a little bit harder. Doesn't mean it's not winnable, especially after what you saw last Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump, I would argue, still has a pretty big edge at the current moment. But yes, now Democrats just gave themselves, I would argue, a fighting chance. Of course, you knew we had to go look at the takes of Biden influencers like Harry Sisson, you know, the people who are shilling so hard for Biden. They say Biden is the best president ever. He's doing a great job. He's defending our democracy. So what do you think their response would be to Biden dropping out and undeniably, everyone knows this, being pushed out of the race? Let's see that take, right? Because if they really supported Joe Biden as much as they said they did, you would think they would be angry. They would be so pissed that a Democrat-led coup internally against Biden pushed him out of the race. First of all, that's anti-democracy. And secondly, again, if you support this candidate that much, you would think you'd be so pissed at this, right? As a Trump supporter, let me say that if they did something in the RNC last minute to get him dropped out and to try to replace him with a different candidate, I would totally look at that and I would be outraged. Of course I would, right? But what was the Harry Sisson response to it? He says, President Biden just dropped out of the presidential race. I must admit, I'm saddened by this news. He has been a fantastic president and he's truly amazing man. I thank him for his service and will support the Democrat nominee 100%. Thank you, President Biden. So what does that undeniably show? It shows that someone like Harry Sisson, and we knew this, but someone like Harry Sisson this entire time has been completely insincere, okay? Because what does he say? Oh, I'm a little sad, but I will support the Democrat nominee. Thanks, Biden. Harry, they just pushed the guy you love so much. I love Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the best president ever. They just undemocratically forced him out of the race. And that's all you have to say, right? It really does tell you a lot. Does it surprise me? No. We always knew all these hardcore Biden supporters, they're really just Democrat shills. They're on to the next thing. But, it is indeed very, very telling. And then, of course, another question I have is if he is dropping out of the race, then why is he not resigning from the presidency? Like this whole thing, it's just such a bad look on so many levels. And I hope people call this out as much as possible because we shouldn't just allow it to be, oh, new Democrat candidate, right? You should not allow that to happen. Okay, there's so much gaslighting and lying going on because first of all, we were told by the Biden White House for the longest time, he's in perfect physical condition. The polls are all fake. There's nothing wrong with him. He has an amazing record as president, all this stuff. And then they're just admitting none of those things are true and he's going to drop out. But at the same time, right? If he's too old, if he's not in the right mental shape to lead the country, then why is he not resigning? Why is he not resigning? Well, the real answer to that question, honestly, is the fact that what would happen if he did resign? If he did resign, then Kamala Harris would become the president. And then we know what, right? She would be the Democrat nominee. So it's so dirty on so many levels because the reason he refuses to resign from the presidency is expressly so that way Kamala Harris can't get the nomination for free. So the whole thing, a lot of backstabbing going on. Okay, wait, hold on. I was about to finish recording this video and then I just saw an update. So apparently Joe Biden is going to be endorsing Kamala Harris for the Democrat nomination. So yes, it is official. We will have Trump versus Kamala most likely. Now, the delegates still technically have the option at the convention not to listen to Biden, but considering they're Biden's delegates and Biden is saying to do this, yeah, it's going to be Trump versus Kamala. That appears to be what's going to happen here. So Joe Biden tweets out, my fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies and duties on the presidency. But he says, my very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president. And it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the Democrat nominee of our party. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. So that's very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. That's very interesting because I understand why Biden is doing this politically, because it'd be a very bad look for him to not endorse Kamala. And when I first saw that, I was like, that is a terrible look because that's not only is that your VP, but think how many diversity rules you were violating there. So it looks like Biden's not going to do that. He's going to choose Kamala as a nominee. But now at the same time, I do have to ask the question, and this is an open question, is Kamala Harris really more electable than Joe Biden? At this point, because Biden has collapsed so catastrophically, yes, you could make the argument for that. Or Kamala Harris could choose a popular person as the VP, like a Josh Shapiro or something like that to boost the electoral chances. But still, right, Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket, there's still an argument to be made. She is more unlikable than Joe Biden, okay? So whatever reason Biden is dropping out of the race here, I'm not exactly sure, reading this news now, that the Democrats just got the saving grace that will finally give them a fair shot in the election, you know? But who knows, right? Maybe arguably this is Biden spiting the party. He's saying, fine, you want me to drop out? I'm out. But on my last way out, I'm going to endorse the worst possible candidate I can, just as a middle finger. I don't know. I have no idea. But there is the updated breaking news here, folks. Biden did just endorse Kamala Harris. And so all but likely, she's going to be the Democrat nominee, and this literally just came up as I was recording. So yeah, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you were new, and until next time, God bless and peace.